Are we looking for a British trained winner this afternoon in the French Oaks, do you think?
Very much so, and I tell you what, if there is one, they'll treat the champagne with a little bit more respect. It costs about £80 a bottle of champagne.
Never understand that. Drinking its best.
No, this is one of the great races of the season, the match of the season, they're calling it so far, head-to-head between two outstanding fillies. The best filly in France, that's Miesque, and almost certainly the best in Britain, that's Indian Skimmer. Miesque's got local advantage, of course, but Indian Skimmer might be slightly better suited by the heavy ground, and it's very, very wet. It was raining all yesterday over this distance, but they're both brilliant. This is Miesque's record, only one defeat in her career, unbeaten this season, and the winner of 2 classic races. She's got a terrific finishing run which she can sustain over a long period, and she showed this in the Prix de Diane, that's the French 1,000 guineas. There was a terrific gallop there, that's her pacemaker in front, and Miesque is one but last here as they come round to the straight. That's her in the white cap on the outside. At this point, the grey Sakura Reiko moves into the lead. Martha Stevens, Indian Skimmer's stable companion, second here, also on the outside, and the pink cap is Interval, another British challenger. But all the time, relentlessly, Miesque is making ground on the outside. She surges into the lead with about 300 metres to go, and the further they go, the more easily she wins. Sakura Reiko under very strong pressure in second place, but this filly wins in brilliant style to consolidate her reputation as something special. Sakura Reiko second and Libertine third. That was a brilliant performance, following on an equally brilliant performance in the 1000 at Newmarket. But Indian Skimmer has been equally exceptional. She's unbeaten in 4 races this season. This is her record. Her only defeat was last season, but she's been really impressive in all her wins this year. And the most recent was in the Prix St. Hilary over 1.25 miles. That day there was a solid gallop, but she pulled quite hard. That's her, the grey in third place, sir, behind Beyond Comparison and Mirosuava, who led round to the straight. But Steve Cawthon lets her go very early in the straight. He lets her have her stride, and away she goes. Horse is queuing up behind a challenger, prepaid in the red colours and the white cap, eventually runs on to be second. On the inside of that, in the pale blue colours, is Grecian Urn, who pulls off the rails. But once again, the further they go, the further Indian Skimmer goes away from her rivals. Another brilliant performance which has impressed the French. Today she's got a pacemaker in La Louche to ensure a strong pace and to try and take the sting out of Miesque's challenge. The heavy going, as I say, must be more in her favour than in Miesque's. They've both got a pacemaker, but they'll have converse roles to play, obviously. There are 11 runners in all. Let's have a check on them. They're headed by the Aga Khan's runner, number 1, Masmouda, ridden by Yves Saint-Martin. 2 is Indian Skimmer, Steve Cawthon. And 3, her pacemaker, La Louche, Willie Ryan. 4, River Memories, Alain Lacoeur. 5 is Bint al-Nasser, ridden by Pat Edry. 6, Birthday Fever, Maurice Philipperon. 7, Microcosm, Claude Piccioni. The pacemaker to number 8, Miesque, Freddie Head. 9 is Prepaid, Jean-Luc Kessar. 10 is Grecian Urn, Cash Asmussen. 11, Carmenetta, Corey Black. And the going, well, inevitably, the French must make the great Miesque a favourite. Don't worry, by the way, that's the runners aren't off. And this is the latest betting we have from the course, and it's much closer than many would have expected. 11 to 10 on Miesque and her pacemaker combined under pari-mutuel rules. Indian Skimmer, just 5 to 4 against. Then it's 6 to 1 the Aga Khan's runner Masmouda, 22 to 1 Birthday Fever, and 30 to 1 Bar.
Indian Skimmer being led up now. Willie Brown on La Louche. Her pacemaker, Steve Cawthon's pacemaker, just looking across to him. Sees her, the last to be installed. That's it. And they're away. And as they settle down in the early stages, Lalouche goes on the inside. Lalouche and Microcosm setting a very fast pace from Prepaid in third. Then comes Carmenetta and Indian Skimmer with Miesque close to her. Behind them come Prepaid and then River Memories and Birthday Fever. And these two pacemakers, Lalouche and Microcosm, setting a very fast gallop indeed. Lalouche by a couple of lengths from Microcosm, a gap of 6 lengths then to Indian Skimmer, who's in third, then Prepaid on the inside, then Miesque, who's taken a pretty strong hold on the inner, then Birthday Fever on the outside, and behind them come Carmenetta. Masmuda is one of the back markers at the moment as they race over past the stables. It's Lalouche in the lead from Microcosm. Indian Skimmer has now gone third, then Prepaid and Birthday Fever. Behind them come Miesque, and there's Masmuda, who's made progress. Grecian Urn and Bint Al Nasser are the back markers, and Lalouche with a 4-length advantage over Microcosm. A gap then to Indian Skimmer in third, Prepaid next, then Birthday Fever. Behind Birthday Fever comes Miesque and Masmuda, and then Grecian Urn and River Memories, and the back marker is Carmenetta, and still Lalouche, unbeaten in 3 races, in the lead from her stable companion Indian Skimmer, going well in second. Then making ground on the outside is Birthday Fever. Behind them Prepaid, then comes Miesque waiting to unleash a run. They're round in the home turn with 3 furlongs left to run, and Lalouche still in the lead. From in second place, Indian Skimmer, then comes Birthday Fever. Miesque coming there towards the stand side, towards the right of the picture, that is, coming down to the 2-furlong pole, and Indian Skimmer has come to tackle Lalouche. Miesque is being chased along by Freddie Head. Bint Al Nasser is coming there on the stand side with Masmuda, but Indian Skimmer has sprinted into the lead, and it's surely an unassailable lead. Indian Skimmer is sprinting away from Miesque, Gandalf, Bint Al Nasser and Masmuda as they race up towards the line. Indian Skimmer's going to win in tremendous style. Indian Skimmer is the winner at the line. Miesque is second, Masmuda is third, and fourth came Bint Al Nasser, and behind Bint Al Nasser was River Memories, and looking right back to last, it was the pacemaker to Miesque. Microcosm, well, a very convincing triumph indeed by Indian Skimmer. The brilliant winner of this £148,000 of the winner, Prix de Diane Hermes. And the result, first number 2, Indian Skimmer, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Henry Cecil, and ridden by Steve Cawthon. Second was number 8, Miesque, owned by Mr. Stavros Niarchos, trained by Francois Boutin, and ridden by Freddie Head. And third was number 1, Masmuda, owned by His Highness the Aga Khan, trained by Alain Royer-Dupré and ridden by Yves Saint-Martin. Fourth was number 5, Bint Al Nasser. There are the numbers in the frame. Number 2, Indian Skimmer. Number 8, Miesque. And number 1, Masmuda. And here is the heroine of the day, and how brilliantly she did it. Fantastic style. This filly by Stormbird, how quickly she's established Stormbird as a stallion. See her now race into the closing stages. She had it sewn up 2.5 to 3 furlongs out. As soon as Steve pressed the button, she had them all in trouble. Miesque has given gallant chase, but had never had any chance of getting to her. Masmuda has run on well to be third. Fourth, just behind them, you'll see Bint Al Nasser. But there was just one in it. Oh, Steve Cawthon wins his first French Oaks. And Indian Skimmer now wins 5 races in a row. 1987, she's won the Prix de Saint-Hilary on the 24th of May, the Tattersall's Musidora, the Pretty Polly, having won first time out at Wolverhampton, and now her greatest success of all. Credit to Lalouche, who did a great pace-making job for her. That's River Memories coming in. But here is the filly herself. Surely due for a right mobbing in the always desperately packed, unsettling enclosure here. They crowd 4 or 5 horses into the same area, and goodness knows how many people. And Sheikh Mohammed, who's completed a fantastic double, of course, having won the British Oaks, the Epsom Oaks, with Michael Stout trained, Unite leading his filly into the winner's circle here at Chantilly, the 4th English-trained winner of this great classic. 1974, Highclere, owned by Her Majesty the Queen and trained by Dick Hearn. 1980, Mrs. Penny, trained by Ian Balding. 1981, Madam Gay, ridden by Paul Kellaway, and now Indian Skimmer, trained by the absolutely brilliant Henry Cecil. Lovely moment this for Carol, Indian Skimmer's girl lad too. And she's still absolutely unruffled, isn't she? What a filly. She's been improving all the time. The ground, let's say, in defense of Miesque, probably more in her favor today, because it isn't the sort of going from which a filly with a great turn of foot, sudden burst of speed can get very much bounce. And Miesque, as soon as Freddie asked her, she was really going up and down in the same place. It just wasn't her terrain, but she'd have been hard put to it to beat this one under any circumstances. The Royal Guard, who've come from Morocco and who are great horse fanciers, of course, have seen a fine horse today. Just to recap the result of the Prix de Diane: first, Indian Skimmer; second, Miesque; third, Masmouda; and fourth, Bint Al Nasser.
Well, a wonderful, wonderful performance, but the race didn't quite go right for Miesque because she didn't settle in the early stages today, and she had not too much left, not many resources left when the pressure was on. It was a very well-worked tactical race with Lalouche making a good gallop. The other pacemaker couldn't keep up for more than 3 or 4 furlongs, and Lalouche managing to lead Indian Skimmer until well into the straight, until Steve Cawthon felt that he was ready to go, which was about at the 2-furlong marker. And you can see here Freddie Head's arms are already working on Miesque. From here on, she wasn't going to win. She'd used up too much of herself, and she hadn't got that terrific turn of foot that she normally shows. Whereas Steve Cawthon, whose filly's been relaxed throughout, now he asks her to lengthen, and she shows her true quality. Against top-class animals, suddenly she puts 4 or 5 lengths between herself and her rivals, showing herself to be one of the great fillies. Miesque battles on, but in the end, she's barely even going to be second, because Bint Al Nasser's breathing down her neck, and Masmouda on the right runs on from a long way back to challenge her for second place. But once again, as happened in the Prix Saint-Valery, the further they went, the further this filly won. And she's shown herself to be champion filly of Europe without any question. How much further she stays will be interesting to see, whether she actually gets 1.5 miles. But over this distance, 1 mile, 2.5 furlongs, it was absolutely perfect for her. Miesque shows her courage by holding on for second place. Masmouda is third, Bint Al Nasser is fourth. So, confirmation of the result, another classic triumph for Henry Cecil, who's carrying all before him this year, and wins his first French classic, having won the Derby with reference point. Miesque is second, but not disgraced, and Masmouda third.